comedy. Hello, you mind movers. Welcome to another episode of Moving Mind Studio. I'm joined, as always, by Ryan George,
Me.
Brandon Calder,
What up?
and I'm Sam Brisson. And today is a special edition because Valentine's Day is coming up. So we went to go see 50 Shades Darker without knowing anything about the movie.
Or having seen the first one.
Big fucking mistake.
So before going to see 50 Shades Darker, we decided to record what we thought we knew about 50 Shades of Grey without having seen it. So we'll play those for you right now, and then we'll talk about 50 Shades Darker.
What I think happened in the first 50 Shades of Grey is sex.
I think Dakota Johnson starts working at a company that is owned by this rich dude, and they have a flirty thing going on. Maybe he's mean to her. He ignores her, and she's like, "What's his problem?" But then
It's a lot of sex.
I know that there's like BDSM and he ties her up and I don't know if he whips her, but stuff like that. But there's probably some of that stuff going on.
like ball gags and sex swings and stuff, and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, we need to do this or it's not gonna work." And she's like, "Oh my god, I love this guy."
But I feel like maybe it's kind of getting redundant and they need to spice up their love life a bit. So they're actually trying to do more stuff in public.
And what I expect to happen in the second one, which is called 50 Shades Darker, is sex.
I think they're now in a like long-term relationship, but they're trying to spice things up because the whipping and BDSM stuff at the house isn't working anymore.
And there's like a girl there, so maybe she's like a former thing. I don't know.
A lot of sex. Maybe with a black man. One can hope. 50 Shades Darker.
So 50 Shades Darker. First of all, I didn't even know that was the title until we got to the movie theater. I knew it was 50 Shades something, but
Did you buy the tickets?
I bought the tickets, but I didn't. You see 50 Shades, you don't finish the sentence. You're just like, yeah, okay, that's what we're going to see.
Yeah.
That's, what was that movie?
Well, you were right about the sex thing. There was some
I think
sex.
I was right.
Yeah,
There's
you were
a lot of sex.
A lot of sex.
You were the closest, I
Yeah.
think, in your analysis. We were way off.
Let's just put it out there. Okay, there are going to be spoilers. Definitely
Yes,
spoilers.
lots
So
of
if you
spoilers.
absolutely want to go see it and not be spoiled, go ahead, but turn this off
Yeah.
because we are going to spoil the shit out of this movie
Yeah.
for you.
But I feel like if you really want to see 50 Shades Darker, you've already read the book.
books. Yeah.
But-
And, like no one's like, oh, what am I gonna go see today? Oh, 50 Shades. No.
And the movie does a good job representing the book.
Yeah. We've never read. Except for in chapter 12, I didn't like the way they it was not.
I think we can all agree that we've never laughed harder in a movie theater.
Oh my God.
Let's just start on that point.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the last time I legit cried of
Yeah.
laughter in a movie
God.
theater.
We laughed so hard. We laughed so hard. The people next to us at the end of the movie was like, I enjoyed this movie because of you guys. You guys laughed and it made me laugh and it was the greatest experience. So
First of all, let's
Yeah.
paint the picture of the theater.
oh my God. Yeah. Oh my
The
God.
ratio of obviously lots of women and us three dudes just laughing.
There was like one guy to every 10, 15 girls
Yeah.
in that movie theater. And
my God.
the demographic was just, all over the place. It was just women. Let's just say it was more just any kind of...
We did get looks when we walked in though. Like
Yeah.
I noticed like people were like looking back at us being like, what do you guys do? And looking for like our girlfriends and it was just, nope, it's just us three.
Nope, right.
All our girlfriends are at home, right?
Ryan and I showed up first, and I told Ryan, I was like, this is the moment where everyone's going to think we're a gay couple.
Yeah.
As we were walking in, I was like, "Hey Sam, what scene were you an extra in?" But I don't think the guy bought it.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So yeah, I guess we were pretty disruptive in the theater, just reacting to the ridiculousness on screen.
But we weren't the only ones. I mean,
No.
the women that were behind us, I mean, we're clearly saying, oh man, this is so bad.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Yeah.
So I don't think we were the only ones to laugh. And maybe our laughter, because we were laughing, other people were probably laughing as well. We just
Yeah,
couldn't hear
yeah.
them.
To be fair, I didn't hear any positive comments.
No.
Nobody was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, that
No.
was so good."
Yeah.
Everyone was kind of like,
Yeah.
or they were like, "That sucked."
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people go there like the same way you watch like a train wreck. Like people they go in expecting it to be funny and bad at the same time, but they do it and they go and watch it. I feel like because that's a lot of parts in the movie where you're not supposed to laugh. like a good portion of like the theater was laughing, and I'm like,
I think like part of what I said like without having seen the first movie before was like I don't know like there must be more to the story than what I know of it, and there wasn't.
No.
There was no story. There was so little story that they would just like sprinkle in drama. The entire movie is about two people. Like the main tension is she's like, I know you really want to do weird stuff to me, but I don't know if I want to let you do it. And he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And she's like, but you do.
Yeah.
And then it's
but then she's like, but I want you to do it today. And he's like, are you sure? Because you spent the entire movie telling me you don't want to do it. I want to do it. Okay, let's do it. But you said so.
And the villains are just all people, like you were saying, Ryan, just all people who like were mad that he didn't have sex with them. So it's like, you can't give him what he wants. And you're just like, this is like the fucking plot of the movie. Like, what is this shit?
The antagonists are just people who are not currently being
Sex-deprived.
fucked by the protagonist. That's all it is. That's like, it's just like, I could summarize the movie.
Yeah, literally.
That's basically it. And it's like the antagonists are like bad people. They're just like her boss wanted to rape her, and then automatically he became the bad guy in everyone's eyes.
Like,
but I mean, that's just the wrong thing to do. Like,
Yeah,
of course you're the bad
exactly.
guy, but now he's out for revenge. Why?
exactly.
You tried to rape her and you lost your job because of it.
Exactly.
So after, I mean, obviously, spoiler, we said that. So after he gets fired from the job from trying to rape his employee, like he disappears for the rest of the movie. But then at the end of the movie, there's like a fireworks show, and they just cut to him across a lake watching the fireworks, and he's just like, and he smokes a cigarette and he puts it through Christian Grey's face on a picture.
Tell me this: why the fuck is he standing like across from his party with a picture of their family? Why do you have that?
But
like, why don't you just
what's even funnier is that across the lake is where they're shooting the fireworks. It almost looked like he was the one operating the fireworks. Like they were coming from right where
That's
he
his
was
new
standing.
job.
What the fuck happened?
And he's great. He's so precise with his cigarette butt.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
I feel
he's like,
Brad does that.
he's like,
And if you break it down, he took a picture with his phone of Christian Grey's family picture. Then he had
did he print it?
Then he had to go print it, only to destroy it to who? To himself. He's standing there like, wait, why did I spend that money printing the picture just so I can burn it?
He's like, I don't want to burn
Seriously,
my phone.
the only so okay for context, there was like a masquerade party, and there's a dude who's like wearing a mask and he's taking a picture of a family portrit, and you're like, "Ooh, that's mysterious."
I really
it
like,
was just for,
it's just for that moment to stand across from this fucking party and burn it like hole into his face. That's
he
ridiculous.
snuck into a party to take a picture of a picture, to print it and burn it by himself by a lake.
At a fireworks show.
That is one of two main villains in 50 Shades Darker.
Yeah, Kim Basinger.
Yeah, she's also her villain. She just like she taught Christian Grey how to be weird with sex, right?
Yeah,
is basically
she showed him
Yeah.
the way into the BDSM world.
So in this movie, she just kind of walks into the room once in a while and it's like, you don't know, you can't give him what he wants, and then she's like, like that's,
all it is a conflict of opinions. Like you think
so
one thing, you
fucking
think another, and then it ends with
my-
Anastasia throwing her drink in her face, and then Christian Grey revealing with his mom showing up at the same time that was his sex partner. And then his mom slaps him across.
I was just like picturing a moment where like, because she like throws the wine in her face, and then the mom comes over and slaps her. And I was just picturing someone's like stepping on her toe, and it's just like this continuous bullshit of people just hitting her.
but she
The
likes
mom
that stuff.
slaps Kim Basinger, by the way, not
Yeah.
Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh my! There's just so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's talk about the moment that made us like really fucking die. Of
Okay,
laughter.
yeah, this is. I think we all agree this is the hardest we've ever laughed.
Tears come
in a
came
movie.
streaming
So
down our face.
In
hard.
like, there hasn't been a comedy movie where I've laughed so hard.
Brandon,
I swear, like 3 scenes later, I was still laughing.
explain it.
I think. Okay, so this is what happens. in the morning, I don't even know her fucking. What's her fucking name in the movie?
Anastasia Steele.
Oh my god!
Anastasia. We just spent 2 hours.
I just like try to.
He says her name at the end of every sentence.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. Anastasia. I don't even think of like the movie Anastasia. Anyways, doesn't matter. So she wakes up in the morning and then she walks to the house. She's in Gray's house and she walks into this room where he obviously is fucking working out shirtless. So you see all his muscles or whatever, and he jumps down. Even though that was already ridiculous enough. Then he walks around the room, and then you see, what is it called?
A pommel horse.
A pommel horse.
There's a pommel horse in the middle of his gym.
For you guys who don't know what that is, that's like that long, that padded
gymnastic thing where like gymnasts do.
Yeah, they do weird things. So a pommel horse. Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah, so he's walking up to this thing, and we're all just thinking, like, no, what is he going to do? Why the fuck does he have this inside of his workout room in the first place? So he leans onto it, and then slowly lifts his legs into the air. We're watching this like, who the fuck let this happen? Like, what director was like, this is a good scene. We need to keep this. It was the most ridiculous fucking thing.
It's just a plank with him staring dead into Anastasia's eyes and, like, starting a conversation.
I wonder if that's in the book. I wonder if that's an iconic scene that people are like, they better fucking put that pommel horse scene.
But you know what? I actually started laughing before he started the plank because I thought he was going to pummel horse.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I thought he was going to do this side-by-side thing.
Me too.
And I started laughing, and then I saw the plank, and it just made me burst out into laughter.
The only logical scene after that would have been if he's like juggling bowling pins. I would have been like, that's impressive.
He's doing shot put or something after. Like, what happened? That was just ridiculous, man.
Also in the movie, I think at 3 different times, there's just like shots of them taking off the woman's underwear.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Anastasia's underwear. Yeah. That's keeps happening during the movie. And you're like, all right, yeah, we get it. That has to happen. Exactly. But we don't need to show it every time. Like, if you guys are having sex, we understand that
underwears have to go.
Like, she's always like surprised each time. I'm like, no, he's good.
And did you hear, like, it's the first time that I've experienced being in a movie theater filled with women. Mm-hmm. And the first scene where you see Christian Grey take his shirt off, did you hear the, like, moans kind of and, like, the hum? They're all like, I was like, the 3 of us just looked at each other and we're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You guys are all
That's what they're going for. They're going to see, like, a mildly attractive couple have sex.
Yeah. It's I don't think, like, books already have a hard time transitioning to movies. Like, this is not a movie that should have been turned into, a book that should have been turned into a movie at all.
No.
You don't get, it just looks ridiculous. Like, every scene they're like, let's go have sex. And then the underwear comes down. Next scene is the same thing over and over again.
But she's so horny. That's it. They're like, okay, one thing that we realize is that she goes to a bar, right? Her boss invites her for a drink saying that they need to, like, chat and network and all that. She gets to the bar and there's nobody. But her boss already bought her a beer. And as soon as the beer literally starts the scene by arriving at the table. And then Christian Grey shows up. And then Anastasia's like, bye. And she leaves. It's a pointless scene. But every scene ends with Anastasia looking at Christian saying, like, I think we should go sleep together. And then there's a sex scene. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was just like, it was nothingness sprinkled with sex scenes. Like, if they didn't know how to end certain scenes, she'd just be like, maybe we should get out of here. And then it just like cut to some song that they bought the rights to or that they like commissioned a well-known artist to do.
Speaking of songs, there's a point that I want to make in the credits, the opening credits. I was very surprised and disappointed. Music by Danny Elfman.
Yeah. Oh, what?
And I just went like, wait, what? Wait, what's going on here? Is this music going to be amazing, or has Danny Elfman like gotten to the point where he's just accepting things?
What? I think paycheck. That's not
Danny Elfman. I was disappointed.
Like, I mean, 50 Shades of Grey did get an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song for.
That was oh my gosh, what's his name?
It was The Weeknd.
I think. Was it? No, wasn't it Sam's? Oh, wasn't Sam Smith? No, I'm thinking of something.
No, that was James Bond.
Nah, never mind.
Oh, man.
I was wrong.
Let's not get into this.
I was totally wrong. So, okay, is there one, like, redeemable scene or part in this movie that was actually, like, good?
No, but you just made me think of a scene that I want to talk about. Okay. So, we're talking about, like, how there's just, like, random scenes sprinkled in because there's no story. So sometimes they'll just like cut to something because they're like, something dramatic should happen here. So there's so like so the dude like proposes to the girl. I whatever, their names are stupid. And then she's like, oh, I don't know, whatever. And he's like, he's gone on a business trip to Portland. So she's like going to bed, and then they just cut to him like out of nowhere in the middle of the day piloting a helicopter with like his business associate, and there's a light flashing that says fuel. Yeah, fuel. And the helicopter's like heading towards the mountains, and his coworker's like, what's happening, Christian? What's happening? And he's like,
He's not saying anything.
And it's a good 5-minute scene of getting closer and closer to the ground, and she's asking what's happening, and he's just wrestling with this.
First of all, do you not see the fucking black smoke that's coming on the back of the fucking helicopter?
What's happening? We are crashing. Exactly. We are crashing.
So that helicopter crash came out of nowhere, and then the resolution to that, like, you could have taken this entire thing out of the movie, and it would not have changed a single thing. So they like, he goes missing because he didn't show up at the airport he's supposed to show up at. So then like, Anastasia and Christian's family are watching the news.
Yeah, it's all over the news.
All over the news. They're like, Christian Grey, the young billionaire, has gone missing. His helicopter is... Blah, blah. And they're all like, oh my God, he's dead. Oh my God. And then on the news, they're like... Suddenly on the news, they're like, oh, we just found out that he's been found and he's on his way home. She doesn't finish her sentence, and he walks in having gone from Portland to Seattle, and he's just like sweaty and bloody.
But like crashed in the woods next to a river. Exactly. So there's nowhere to come by.
How did it was get like back? Live. How the fuck did you get there?
And then like the most unnatural scene I've seen in a long time is that his family are all there watching the news, thinking that he's dead. He walks in, they're like, "Oh my God, you're alive!" And they all get in the elevator and leave so that they can have sex.
And when the doors close, the family leaves. Anastasia's like, "Hey, it's your birthday."
It's like, what? So you're almost fucking dead. It's your birthday, and you just show up. Your family's just like, "All right, good seeing you.
Glad you're not dead.
Glad you're not dead, and bye."
And by the way, we're throwing you a party tomorrow, so hope you're there. We didn't cancel anything since announcing that you've been missing, but.
And no one at the party mentioned that he
are you
had
okay?
a helicopter
It was all over the news yesterday.
National news.
Well, I have a theory. Maybe he's like fucking the Flash or Batman or something. Because how did you get there so quickly? I don't understand.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That would be a good movie.
Yeah,
you just skipped over a great movie right there.
At one point, I had a little bit of hope for the movie. I was like, this could be interesting. When I thought there was like a ghost girl like following like Anastasia's character around, because there's like this girl who shows up. And she walks out of the room. She's like, I don't know what she said to her or whatever. And she's like, has like these bandages around her arms. And she's like, says her name. She's like, I don't know you. And then she disappears. And then like a few scenes later, she shows up like outside of a restaurant. And then she disappears. I'm like, is there a fucking ghost girl in this movie? Like, what? Like, what is happening? Oh my God. And then a few scenes later, she shows up obviously randomly in Anastasia's house. And then obviously she pulls out a gun, and she's pissed off because Christian used to have sex with her and no longer has sex with her anymore, so she's all pissed off about it. And then she takes out a gun and points it at her. And obviously Christian comes in and he just
raises his hand like Jesus.
Like, yeah, for you guys are not watching this. He literally just raises his hand as like she's pointing a gun at her. She doesn't say a word. Just like, what is happening? Why don't you just like tackle her down or something? It's fucking ridiculous.
And think about it. She went to Christian Grey's house as well, right? And saw them sleeping together. Billionaire doesn't have like he's been followed by security. He has his own security detail, and she gets into his house and watches them sleep in the bed.
Yeah, they literally did not explain that. They're like, at a certain point she's like, let's go back to your place. It's a fortress.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, I don't know. She broke into the garage. Exactly. And maybe you're gonna learn she has some kind of background, and nope, never explain. But she breaks into all these places undetected.
Yeah. Like she's fantastic.
Yeah,
she
man.
Can do
think she's. You know what? She's the fucking star of the movie. I'm calling it. She's the star of the movie.
She's
great.
Fantastic.
She's great.
Whoever that actress was.
That superhero ghost girl was my favorite part of the movie.
Let's talk like the basis of the film, right? A lot of people, when 50 Shades of Grey came out, they're like, oh, this is a raunchy, it's all about whips and gags and all the stuff. When you think about it, nothing really intense happened in that movie.
No.
The only like sexual like bondage stuff that happened is that he tied her hands together, or then
and
like he
pulled
out
her bar.
And that apparatus that he used when she like grabbed it, and she was like, "What does this do?" He's like, "You have to learn how to walk before you run."
Yes.
All it did was tie her legs open and kept her legs apart. There was nothing incredibly like crazy about that thing. He could have just answered and be like, "Oh, it keeps your legs open while we have sex."
Exactly.
Seriously, like makes it tough to walk.
Yeah.
And so ever since he like mentioned that thing, when he was in his red room, and the red room is like his little room of all his toys. There was nothing like intense. Like Christian Grey is a pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's weak, man. Like and she opens like there's this little I don't know, like jewelry box type of thing with hundreds of drawers. It looked like. Who organizes those? And like, she opens one. He's like, "Oh, those are nipple clamps." And I was like,
and those seem worse than the thing. The nipple clamps seem much worse than like the thing they actually went with.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Those are nipple clamps." But then, like, she takes the foot thing, and he's like, "I can't even tell you what that is."
Yeah, that's intense. I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna have to. I actually want to go see the first one to see if it's like, is it more intense?
I doubt it, man.
It must be though.
Are the
because
scenes better? Or is
she breaks up with him
because
it goes too intense.
Maybe he used the longer stick, like leg lock thing.
Like a Chinese finger trap. She's like,
we're breaking up. We're breaking up.
You're fucking crazy.
Oh my God.
And, like, so I was wrong in my video because I said that they were still together and they were looking to get kinkier, but the movie opens up with them not being together. So at the end of the first, they break up because she thinks he's too intense. But
I think,
in my opinion, Christian Grey is not intense.
I think this movie is about him trying to not be intense, but because of that, it's like, all right, so this is just a couple having sex.
Yeah.
He has like, another thing is that like you can't touch his abdomen.
Oh, yeah, okay. So explain that. Something clearly happened in the first one.
So I think he was like, because the beginning of the movie started with like a child and he had like problems as a kid, so he's traumatized. And
it's only a certain area.
So so she's like, I don't know where I can touch you. I need a map, and he gives her lipstick. And he's like, "Here, now you can have a road map." And then she draws the outline. How did she know?
No, that's it. He starts with holding her hand, so that made sense. But eventually he lets go, and she continues it. Yeah. It's like, wait, you don't know.
And then he's like, "That's don't go there.
Don't go here.
That's my no-no area.
Don't touch my man boobs."
It's so. And then like, what's weird is that,
oh my God,
like literally like that happens. I don't know what point of the movie, and like a lot of scenes later. They're in the shower and he still has the fucking lipstick.
Yeah, it's like days.
Like, did you not fucking shower?
I thought it was days later.
Yeah, it was every morning she's like, "Excuse me, we have to draw your road map. Thank you."
Does he not clean his chest? Like, can he touch his own chest?
Just stinky and it's like lipstick on her. Like,
he's like, "Oh, don't touch it. It's really gross." I haven't cleaned it.
I'm used to seeing. I don't know if you guys watch the TV show The Fall.
No.
Okay, so he's the main actor in that. He plays a killer who likes to choke women and kill them. And so it's very similar to this Christian Grey character. So I'm used to seeing him in that role. But he's Irish, and he uses his regular accent in the movie. And in this movie, I was wondering, is he American? Is he something? I could not put my finger on the accent that he was doing. And if you realize how much dialogue he had, they're very short sentences and like cut up.
It's
and
mostly
I was like,
her name.
I don't think he actually knows how to pull off a proper American. I don't know if Christian Grey in the books is supposed to be American or what. I mean, his sister is Rita Ora in the movie as well, so they have to have some kind of British ancestry or something from the UK. I don't know, but
which is weird, man.
I thought his like voice was horrible. Like
I didn't even notice an accent.
I think he was just American. I have no idea.
He didn't talk much.
Exactly.
If you hear his actual voice and then you go rewatch that movie, you would be like, "Oh man, his Irish, like
it's creeping through.
It's going through so many times."
That's awful. I'm wondering if like this movie would have done well. Like I feel like they would really have to go the R-rated way for it to be a good movie. Like I feel like you need to really, like you were saying, I'm sure in the books it's way more intense than it was in the movie.
What was this rated though?
I don't think it was, definitely not R.
There was boobs.
There
was
only
boobs.
Yeah, there was boobs, and then
boobs
like one fuck, which is the most randomest thing ever. Did you guys realize that when he walks in, he's like, "Where the fuck were you?" And I was like, "Oh my god."
Oh yeah, where the fuck were you? You were gone for 3 hours.
It's like
what a crazy guy.
Yeah, you know what? And like on a serious note, like this movie is basically about a fucking. Unfortunately, whatever he went through made him into a fucking psychopath. and this woman just stays with him the whole time, no matter what. I mean, not to get too serious, but that's such a bad message to people. It's just like, yeah, this guy is like crazy, and he literally says like, he's not like, he doesn't do bondage. Like, he's not a dominant, whatever, dominatrix.
He's not a dominant.
Yeah,
he's a sadist.
Yeah, he's a sadist, and he just gets pleasure out of hurting women. That's what he says. And she's like, "Oh, you're so damaged. Let's get married." Like, what? Like, this is
actually no. He's the one. Yeah. Okay, this is how nuts he is, and I think they make this so that. Forgive me if I'm wrong, women, but I think they're doing this to cater to women's needs. But he asked her to move in. The day after, he asks her to marry him, and he's like rushing through everything so quickly, and it's like, oh my god, he's the perfect guy. He's like rushing through all stages of life. Yeah. Next thing is, let's have a baby.
Yeah.
He's still like trying to own her, but he's owning her by like her terms.
Yeah.
Kind of. He's like, so all right, so this is how I own you. Yeah. In your book. Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna do that.
Oh my god, and another scene. This keeps coming back to me where he like kneels down to her and just like, this is so weird,
and he cries
and
like a little baby.
Oh my god, it's just weird. I think it sends a bad message overall. I think it's just a weird movie. Maybe I think it would have been good if it was really like super like R-rated. I don't know what's beyond R, but like super like almost like impossible to watch. You're like, oh my gosh, this is intense kind of.
I don't even know like how that would have saved it.
You know what, it wouldn't,
because
it's just
like we said, the story is no story. It's just she thinks that he has sexual needs that she can't provide, and he is trying to push them away. And there are people that are angry that they're not being fucked by them.
Well, either way, people are going to go see the third one because mid-credit scene is a preview for the third 50 Shades Freed, where there are clips of their wedding, and lo and behold, creepy guy with the dark eyes is out to get them.
He's just gonna burn pictures the whole fucking movie.
And I thought they were being like clever with the titles, like 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Freed. What the fuck are you talking? That's off theme.
Yeah.
Talking about.
Go with.
Is that? I guess that's the name of the book for sure, right? 50 Shades Freed.
I'm pretty sure they're all named after the books.
Is it a trilogy of books, or are there more books?
I don't know.
This just proves that we went in blind.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is gonna happen in the next movie?
They're
married.
They're married, and then someone else is gonna show up and be like, I'm so angry he's not having sex with me, and then they're gonna burn a hole into a picture, and then that's gonna be
I think it's gonna be all about the wedding planning because they just got engaged. Who knows, it might even open with the wedding because they're such a quick couple.
It looks like they're on a honeymoon.
And
in the post-credit scene, they're like on a beach or something.
Oh, true. But I mean, he's got so much money that the next day, like, I think that's such an excusable, like, he's a billionaire, so anything can happen. Where he's just like, hey, we need this. I'll get my people to do it. How many times did he say, I'll get my people to do it?
How many times?
And it's like, that's why no one can ever be in this situation because he's just like, oh yeah, money, here's $24,000. And it's
one thing that also bothers me about certain movies is like, I mean, she was like an assistant for this rich guy who worked. What was it? A publishing company?
Yeah, a book publishing company.
Like, her place is fucking huge. Like, I always realize. And
her place is beautiful.
And you live. Where were they in New York or whatever?
We're in Washington.
Seattle. Seattle. Her place was massive, and I'm like, how you're an assistant to this guy and you have this big house? Like, this is ridiculous. That always pisses me off in movie. Like,
but maybe Christian gave her a lot of money in the first one, and she was able to, or maybe he bought the place. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
There's a bunch of stuff we don't know.
We will never know because we won't watch it.
Oh man,
maybe we might do this more often.
Yeah,
go see movies that we have no idea what they're about, and they're expected to be bad.
We need to go see movies that are not meant for us.
Yeah,
I think.
Yes.
Yeah. It was pretty rough. Yeah. So we'll answer a couple of fan questions, I guess, that we got in the
absolutely.
We got a couple of questions from you guys in the comment section of the last video. What we're going to start doing is if you leave a comment on the YouTube video, we're going to start answering those in Facebook live videos. And if you want us to answer a question in the Vodcast podcast thing, you could send us a video of yourself asking the question to movingmindstudio@gmail.com, and then we'll be able to play the clip and talk about it within the podcast. So let's get to reaching for my phone that's in my butt currently. The film inspired me. Oh yeah. Also, there's a scene where she's like getting dressed for a party, and he just shows up with like beads.
Okay. Did he put them in her ass or her vagina?
No, vagina.
It was the vagina, right?
Yeah. She was like, "Don't put it in my butt."
Literally, that was the line. She was like, "You're not putting that in my butt."
And Peter was like, "This is so funny.
It made me realize that Dakota Johnson, every time I've seen her like in interviews or whatnot, she's a horrible actress. She's just being herself.
It's one of those instances of like it's horrible. It's not horrible to say. It's true. Both her parents are famous, and she would not have been in this movie if it weren't for that fact. Yeah. She has famous parents.
Maybe she's one of the only people that agreed to do this film.
Yeah, a lot of people dropped out from this movie.
Yeah.
Like Christian Grey was supposed to be Charlie Hunnam. Do you guys know who that is?
Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah. All right, so we got a question from Aiden Ladd, who asks, what did you guys think of the new Childish Gambino album?
Oh.
This is more of a question for Brandon and I.
I'm out.
Sam does not listen to
Who wrote that?
Aiden Ladd.
All right,
Aiden
let's
Ladd?
talk about your name, Aiden Ladd. No, I'm kidding. You guys go answer the Gambino.
I liked it a lot. It's very different. There's a couple of songs that I'm like, I don't like California. Not so good, but overall, I really like the direction that he took. I think it's cool.
I mean, I always give props to artists like him and Kanye West who kind of go against the grain, I guess. And he released everything else he's done before this has been like straight up kind of hip hop, but always experimental. And there's absolutely no rapping in it whatsoever. It's pure funk, and I have to appreciate that. And the album's good. I think it's one that grows on you more than anything, but there's a few songs that really get you. The other ones will kind of grow on you, and as more that you listen to it, the more you appreciate it.
Yeah,
so
I tried to give one of the songs a chance today as I was driving,
and you couldn't do it.
California again,
and
because he does a weird. He's like,
California.
Yeah. But then like my GPS was cutting in, so I was like, whatever, another time.
Yeah. Good album. I give it.
It's good. Yeah. Give it a listen.
8.5.
8.5. Wow.
8.5.
2.
We have another question from Collective Light, who says, I remember years ago you did some voiceover parodies that were hilarious. It might have just been Ryan. This was before bad lip reading got popular. Any chance you guys would make another voiceover video? That was just
I'm out.
Well, Ryan,
take it away.
Yeah,
Ryan.
no, that was like pre-moving. I think I was just out of high school. That was like pre-moving Mind Studio before bad lip reading. I did some voice 300 field trip. You can look it up on YouTube. I don't know. Bad lip reading sets such a high bar for voiceover things that it's really difficult to do that anymore. If you go rewatch my video, like sometimes the mouth syncs up and sometimes it doesn't. So it's like, meh. I tried to do one like 2 years ago for Breaking Bad. And it was just taking, you were going to do some voices too. But it's such a, if you want the quality voiceover, it's so much work. And the guy who does bad lip reading is able to read lips, so he's able to like detect things like that.
That's awesome.
So maybe one day, but I need a big chunk of time to do that, and we have so many projects on the way no for now.
Until we find like a good twist, I think another way to do it, something that's different from what's being done right now. Then
So remember, tune in every Saturday, live podcasts. And in between, we got some cool stuff happening as well on our channel, on our YouTube channel. You can check us out, youtube.com/movingmindstudio. If not, go check us out on Twitter or Instagram. And be sure to send in those video questions so we can answer every Saturday at noon.
And if you want to go see people have sex and burn pictures,
search porn.
And watch Pornhub.
Love you.